All right, folks. Good morning. Rick here. How's everybody doing today?
Woo!
Fantastic.
Fantastic, fabulous, and really good.
All right.
Morning, Rick.
Yeah, good morning, folks. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning. Good.
Good morning.
Good. Super.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, great. Well, welcome to the 25th of November. Hold on a second. All right, as I have to do that crazy thing, mute you guys. Sorry about that. Today's not an interview. Today I'm going to have a slightly different call for the week of Thanksgiving. Today's call is called Get a Life. All right, that's what I'm calling it. But it's not in a bad way. I'm just saying that because it's a catchy title. As you guys know, in my and by the way, before I get started here, I want you to ask questions today. So *6, you unmute yourself, but make sure once you do that, you can remute it on your phone, or if you're in a quiet area, either one's fine. But remuting is always good because of the quality of the recording. I want you guys to ask questions today. I'm going to go through other areas of your life this week. I always like to do that. Do this call this week, that week of Thanksgiving, where everybody has so much to be grateful for. Even on your worst days, 90% of the planet would change places with you. Just remember that every day. Even on your worst days, 90% of this planet that we live on would change places with you, okay? So always remember that. It's a grateful place to live. I know we have an election year coming up. People get a little crazy. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, doesn't matter. You live in the best country in the world, and you always have plenty to be grateful for. At least that's the way I feel, and I hope you do too. And there's just so many reasons that, driving down the street, living in Las Vegas or Arizona or California, you live in one of the best parts of the country. I used to live in New England, and I loved it there. But now that I live in Las Vegas, I'm like, holy cow. Every day is a sunny day. Pretty much it rained 2 days in a row. When's the last time that happened? Like 3 months ago? So it's pretty crazy. The weather's great. The economy's great. Everything's really, really well. And, but the thing is that your life isn't just about your business. I hope. People tell me all the time, my life is real estate. Every time I hear that, it makes me a little sad because your life isn't real estate, I hope. That's your job. And it's great if you're that into it. And should you be a little obsessed about it? Sure. But you got to have other areas of your life. You can't sacrifice everything for business because by the time you get there, you're not going to enjoy the destination. All right. As you guys know, I like to fight the word If you look at the definition of success in the dictionary, it does basically say a destination. It's a noun. That's why I wrote my book. Success is a verb. Success is not a noun. It is a verb. As a matter of fact, the world is always spinning and moving through the universe. And if you're not doing any of that yourself, then you're behind the 8 ball right from the beginning. Okay, so think about that. The earth. Think about everything. If you think about everything that goes on, like the 4 seasons, the way the earth tilts on its axis, it's freaking amazing. Okay, if you really think about it. And then we take so much for granted. My call a couple of weeks or my topic last week with some of my people I coach was, it's like you take oxygen for granted until it's not there. And we've never had that issue, thank God. But if that were to happen, you would really notice it quickly. Okay? So if you think about everything that's going on, the fact that you're alive, you have already won a lottery, becoming the one cell that made, you know what I'm saying? If you really think about it, the fact that you're alive is an amazing thing. A human body is the most expensive piece of machinery on the planet, and you live in the best place on the planet called United States of America. You can argue, well, I don't like this president, or so what? Most people give him way more credit, or she, than deserves, because they only really are responsible for about a third what most people think they can actually handle. So, and here's the great news. Just like the earth spinning and tilting on its axis, same thing with politics. We had 8 years of Democrat before. Now we've got, 4 years of Republican. Who knows? It just seems the way it always goes. 8 of one, 8 of the other. There's only been a couple of deviations of that since like the 1950s. So if you don't like who's in office, wait. It's going to change eventually. And if you did like who was in office the 8 years before, that's just called a cycle. And it really, honestly, folks, has nothing to do with you and your business. Okay? So should you have a business plan? Yes, you have. Yes, you should. And it should be in by now, especially if you're in my coaching. Okay? You should have a business plan in. You can't end up at your goal unless you set one. I know that sounds oversimplistic, but most people say, oh, it's in my head. Yeah, well, that's a great place some days, and some days it's not a great place, myself included. You know, some of you know one of my affirmations. I wake up in the morning some mornings and I say to myself, my mind is a terrible neighborhood. I should not go there alone. All right. So fortunately, I don't. All right. I don't hear voices. That's not what I mean. I have a plan. I'm going to go through that today too. But I want you to ask questions. All you got to do is hit *6. So these are the areas. Obviously, one of them is business. And you guys hear me talk about this all the time, especially if you've taken my success series. I have a little check in my pocket right now in my wallet that has a goal that I've rewritten in October for each of these 5 areas that I'm going to go through right now. And let's get business out of the way first. Business is one of them. Okay. You know, your mental health is another one, your spirituality, physical, and family. So those are the 5 areas: family, physical, spiritual, mental, business. All right. And every one of you should have I believe, if you keep it this simple, it's pretty simple. 5 areas, easy to remember. All right. And, you know, you should have I have a two sentence goal for each one of these 5 areas, 10 affirmations that I have on the back of the check that I write. I write a check to myself, from myself every year. Been doing it since I've learned this from Jim Carrey, right before I think it was before he did Dumb and Dumber. He got paid $20 million for that movie, and he had a check written out to himself for $10 million. So he kind of overshot his goal, and it said simply for acting services rendered. All right, and think about that. I thought, what a great idea! Write a check to yourself, from yourself. So that's what I do. It's dated 2020. Put a nice little ring to it too, by the way. Remember my saying, you got to have 2020 for 2020 if you want to make more money and thrive in these other areas we're going to go through. So consider doing that. Write a check to yourself, from yourself, dated December 31st, 2020, and write the exact amount like you're writing out a check to yourself, because you are. Flip it over on the other side and have a 2-sentence goal for each of these 5 categories. It's so simple, but it absolutely works if you actually do it. And you'll notice that even as the year goes on, every time you redo this, you're going to be eliminating some and adding new because you've achieved your goals. Okay, so the 5 areas: family, physical, spiritual, mental, and business. And businesses last for a reason. But I want to get it out of the way first. So should you have a business plan? Yes, you have. Yes, you should. You should have it written out, and it should be done by now. Now, look, if it's not, then hopefully most of you are working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, taking Thursday through Sunday off, or at least a few days off. So you got to use these 3 days, okay, to finish your business plan. A business plan takes you 30 minutes. If you're using mine, it's very simple. All right. And I always do the business plan, and I do the check along with it, and I stick that check in my pocket, which I have updated. Okay. And for the year 2020, folks, I'm telling you right now, 2020 can be your year if you make a decision now. And when I say your year, think about this. Everything that you need to be successful, you already have. You already have. All right? You're at the best company in the world, best name brand on the planet. You already have all the tools. Now, the thing is, are you using them? That's the key. Okay? Are you using them? That's the key. And it really is. All right, some of you know I'm into music. I actually wrote a song called Better Life Inside, and it's all Better Life Inside. And what the meaning of the song is, your subconscious mind dictates everything that you do. Okay, so you need to spend time, okay, reprogramming that, rewriting it. You actually can create a new normal for yourself. And when I learned that, I was like, that is so powerful. I mean, it really is. And it's from accumulation of every book I've written. And when I read this book called The Power of Habit by Charles Hugig, I think his last name is pronounced, The Power of Habit, it really cinched it together for me that you really can program yourself. You really can. I mean, you got to have beliefs, and you got to have, attitudes, and, but you actually can over time. So your business plan is where it starts. You got to, because it's nice. I know people say that, money won't make you happy, but it'll make you a lot happier than poverty. Trust me. All right. I mean, money gives you choices. It's not like you want paper in your pocket. No, you want the choices and the things that go along with it. But in order to have money, you have to have sacrifices in order to get money. Okay? It's that simple. It's like, we just had Veterans Day not too long ago. Freedom isn't free. It's just not free. All right? And a lot of people, and, every time you see somebody in uniform, say thank you for their service, because it really, without them, okay, we don't have what we have today. So that's yet another thing to be thankful for. Okay? So that's your business. You need to have a plan. You need to have a schedule that goes along with it, and it's got to be done no later than Wednesday, which is the 27th. Should have it all done. It should have been done by the end of October, but we should have done anything. Learned that from Wayne Dyer. I love when I heard him say that one day. You should have done anything. It's too late now. So the best time to have it done is the end of October. The second best time is right now. Like when people ask me, what's the best time to buy a house? I always go, 5 years ago. But since you can't do that, now. That's always the best time. I just found that hilarious. But anyway, all right. So let's move on into family. Okay, so should you have a family goal? Yeah, why wouldn't you? Okay, the old saying, happy family is like a taste of heaven on earth. I firmly believe that. Who was I reading? I think it was Leo Tolstoy said, happy families do things very consistently. Unhappy families have their own unique plan. I thought that's true about everything, actually, if you think about it. Like McDonald's. I would never eat at McDonald's, but you can't argue with their system. It works. There's all kinds of examples you can do. But you got to have family time. Like for me, it's scheduled in. It's just scheduled in. I know when I'm going. My kids are on the other side of the planet. I fly in, they fly out. And I have a schedule for it. And you got to have and even phone calls. Like my kids know when I'm calling. I know when, so I have a schedule to stay in touch with my family. And if most of your family lives with you, even better. Okay. So all I'm saying is you should have a great business, and you're an independent contractor. It's really up to you. And I'm going to tell you, your family's the same way. And if you sacrifice your family time just to gain at work, by the time you get there, you won't be happy. I'm telling you. Trust me on that one. All right? So family time is very important, but that is really subject to your own definition. The next area is physical. Okay, physical activity. And I'm going to tell you right now that most people do not give that, okay? I mean, it really is, physical activity reduces anxiety. It reduces endorphins, which are the feel-good chemicals. Okay, so it's like you feel almost as euphoric as being on drugs, except it's healthy. All right, I mean, it's really awesome. All right, and you know what? When you start the day out like this, it's almost impossible to have a bad day. When you start the day with something really positive for yourself, it affects your emotional health positively. Okay, it really affects every areas of your life. I compare physical activity for your life like you have better relationships when you feel better. When you feel, it's the old saying, until you take care of yourself, you can't take good care of anybody else. It's like when you're on a plane, in case of an emergency. I always love when they tell you, in case of a water landing, and I'm going from Las Vegas to Phoenix. That's about as possible as it's impossible. So I prefer to land at the airport. I don't really want to land at the lake today. So let's just focus on the airport. From airport to airport sounds way more exciting to me. But in case of an emergency, okay, please take care of yourself first, basically, before you put that's just the way life is, unfortunately. And people think that's selfish. No, it's necessary. Okay, and your physical activity, every one of these areas we're going to go through next, if you start with this, just like I believe that prospecting, and I know, here we go. Look, 15 minutes in. Look, it took me halfway through the call to say the P word. Some of you ought to be excited about that. But physical activity for your life, okay, because it has so many your family relationships are better. Your emotional health is better. Your spirituality is better. Everything is better when you feel good. That's why people say you have all the money in the world, but if you don't have health, which is so true, you don't have anything. All right. So, and people think money can buy health. It really can't, because if you're at a certain point where you're too far, it can't. It's a lot easier. You're gonna pay the price for physical, for your health. The question is, are you gonna pay it, okay, by being on drugs or cholesterol medicine or all kinds of crazy stuff, or are you gonna pay it by working out and feeling great about yourself? I mean, to me, number two makes a lot more sense than going on medications and all that kind of stuff because you're not healthy. Right? And some of us are going to need a little bit of that anyway, but it's reduced a lot if you take care of yourself. Physical health for your life, it has so many reciprocal benefits. It's almost crazy if you don't do it. I mean, I think it is crazy, but I'm not going to judge. I'm just saying you can do whatever you want. I think it's crazy if you don't. I really believe that. Today I'm addicted to the process. I was at the gym this morning, and I'll be there Thanksgiving morning, and I'm one of the crazies that goes every day I possibly can. I don't miss many days in a year, all right, because I'm addicted to the way I feel when I walk out that door. Why would I ever sacrifice that for an hour and a half a day? I still have 22 and a half hours of the rest of the day to do whatever I want. Okay? So that's my little pump on that. I would recommend you do that. The next one is spirituality. Now, don't get crazy. I didn't say religion, although some people are religious, and that's great. I'm talking about spirituality, and my favorite example, or I should say my favorite two examples are Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra, and one of them will tell you meditate, and the other one will tell you meditate. Okay, so and I'm from the East Coast, from Boston. When I went to California, one of my first trips, and people were talking about meditating, I was like, oh, these people are smoking pot. Something's going on. Meditate? What the hell is, So I didn't believe in it at first, but then I tried it. And then I realized, like, today I'm addicted to it. It's great. It's absolutely one of the best things you can do yourself. And that's where I firmly believe that everything you already want to have happen in your life is within you. Okay? It even says that in the Bible. Jesus said that. He said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Basically, what you need to do is discover where that is. Okay? And I believe that meditating, I've had epiphanies, all kinds of things happen while meditating because you're quieting the mind down and just allowing. I think you can actually have great messages will be sent to you. You can just make discoveries on your own. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain until you try it. And what I did at first was I listened to a woman called Kelly Howell, and she does guided meditations. You can probably listen to them on YouTube for free. You can get them online. They're very inexpensive. Put them on your phone, and then you can do meditating. I like meditating with the earbuds in to get that stereo effect while I'm meditating too. But I don't always have the ability to do that. I'm on a plane sometimes. The hum of the plane, great meditating. Do I fall asleep meditating? Almost all the time. Matter of fact, I do that at night to fall asleep. In the morning, when I wake up, I don't fall back asleep, 9 out of 10 times. But it does happen once in a while because you get into a relaxed state. But I'm telling you, if you're not and I like to do it twice a day. It could be for 5 minutes. It could be for 30 minutes. Okay. And you'll develop your own routine. There's no perfect way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. Listen to, read about, like I said, Deepak, Wayne. I love Wayne Dyer's book called Manifest Your Destiny. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. It's a tremendous book, and he talks about that in there. Okay. So have a routine for meditating. Okay. So there you go. That's we've covered family, we've covered physical, we've covered spiritual. Does anybody have any questions for me, by the way? Question. Hit *6 on any of these so far. Come on. Don't be shy. Okay. Apparently, I've explained it so explicitly that no one has a question. So I'll move on. Thank you. All right. So the next one is mental. One of my favorites. I didn't say mental case. I said mental. I can be a mental case, believe me when I tell you, if I allow myself to go down that road. Today, it's very rare I do that. It's very rare I do that. It does happen once in a while. Okay, but it's very rare because there's no benefit of getting all worked up. But mostly what I'm talking about here is, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, is you have the ability to really reprogram yourself, but it's a full-time job. As a matter of fact, next to this point, next to family, I have a whole bunch of notes. Next to spiritual, I have a whole bunch of notes. Next to mental, I wrote one thing. This is a full-time job. At least I believe it is. Okay? And I'm talking about when I'm in my car, I'm not listening to the radio. Okay, when I'm at the gym, I'm not watching the news. Okay, I'm listening. Like right now, I'm learning Spanish. I'm also reading a book about getting 1 million followers on social media. Right before that, I finished a book about how to make your YouTube channel better, which one of the things it told me was mention it on all my podcasts. So, okay, quick shameless plug here. If you're not listening, if you don't have my YouTube channel, if you're not a subscriber, by the way, if you don't have the YouTube app on your phone, let's start there. Every one of you should have the YouTube app on your phone. And it's not just, I'm not talking, should you join my channel? Yes. Should you subscribe? Yes. I put new videos on there all the time. They're free, and they're all about selling real estate and other things, okay, because I like to have a full life, just like I hope all of you do too. So subscribe to my channel, but there's so much other stuff on there that's free. Free audio books, free podcasts. There's all kinds of stuff on there. And if you're not subscribed to my podcast on Podbean or on your iPhone, just the podcast app, please do that as well. But, it's a full-time job. So, like, I discovered the YouTube channel about 3-4 years ago, and I was like, on my phone, I was like, you got to be kidding me. All the money I spent on books and audios, and now I still have Audible because I like to listen to the new stuff. But if you have that basic Audible subscription, I probably listen to 3 or 4 books a month on my Audible app, and I listen to the rest of them, okay, because I like to I know the world is throwing me negativity. Just put on CNN or MSNBC or any of that crap, and you'll see. I don't know why it's gotten so crazy. Like, it's not the news today. It's really, what do you call that? Like a paparazzi type stuff. It's just so exaggerated opinion that it's almost crazy. All right. So to me, that's just, I don't know why anybody would watch that. And I think if we all stop watching the news, they'd have to shut it down, and we could just get a printed something that, you check your email, you get news. Anywhere where TVs are on everywhere, it's crazy. So if you took that time, if you're currently a news junkie, perfect. Take that time, okay, and put it into training your mind to end up where you want to end up, which is selling more properties. And it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job, folks. But a lot of us, if you think about the amount of time that you're looking at news on social media or looking at news, and if you just took, even if you take half that time and put it into making your mindset better, you guys have to realize your brain really has unlimited capacities. I'll give you an example. Okay, so 4 years ago, I made fun of social media. Okay, as a matter of fact, a lot of you, I used to call Facebook shit Facebook because it was so stupid to me. Like, look at these people putting partying pictures. It doesn't even make any sense to me. Okay, so sorry, don't report me to HR for that one, but that's what I used to call it. All right. Now, 4 years later, I have the max friends on Facebook, 5,000 on my personal page. I have X amount of followers on my, and if you told me, like when I'm on a plane ride these days, I will go through my friends, because I believe everything should go on your personal page. Should you have a business page? Yep. But you're going to get most of your business from your personal page. Okay. And it allows you 5,000 friends. Why everybody on this call doesn't have 5,000 friends or a goal to get there, I don't understand. Because once I decided, you know what? I was being dumb about that. Okay, social media does work. I need to get good at it. All right, and it's free, which to me, free is a very, very good price. Okay, when I started in the business in 1985, to get the kind of coverage that you guys can get for free, you had to have TV, newspapers, bus benches, billboards, magazines, newspapers. You guys can do that for free now. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then the day I decided that, I went on a campaign on my YouTube channel, just saturating my brain with people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Tim Ferriss, the list goes on and on. I listen to kids in Australia, just everybody about social media and YouTube channels and so forth. And then I've devised my own little plan for what I do right now. Okay. And it's, if you told me 4 years ago that I could look at my 5,000 friends on Facebook and recognize and know like offices and marketplaces, I tell you're crazy. But I do that now, but it's 4 years later. I've been up to that 5,000 mark for about a year now, and I intentionally keep it below like 4,970 or 80 something, so I can always accept people that are real estate agents in, and then I go through and I eliminate some, okay, and I'm constantly upgrading. It's like a CRM to me, and it's like a free CRM. Okay, so, but that, I had to change my mindset about that it actually does work. It actually is good. It actually will do you business. So all of you should definitely be doing that. Okay, so to me, the way to reprogram your subconscious mind is by massive saturation of new information. And that is audiobooks, read, listen, get the YouTube channel app, obviously subscribe to my channel, because I am all about that, the exact stuff we're talking about. And then the reason I would subscribe is, like, you know, my first coach was Mike Ferry. And if Mike Ferry had a YouTube channel back then, I would have it on my phone. I'd be doing it because it would, every time a new video comes, it would remind me. Not only would it be, and my videos are all quick. They're none of them were going to 2 minutes to 6 minutes long maybe. And they're training videos and so forth. And it would just remind me of what I need to be doing. You know, it's like, you know, like top athletes that get paid a lot of money, they're constantly reminded what they need to do, and constantly repetition over the things. If you want to be that kind of, like, if you want to be the star person in your marketplace, it requires massive repetition. If you want to reprogram your mindset, it requires massive repetition. Unless you have a photographic memory, okay, which I don't. And anytime everybody has one, it really irritates me, because I know in order for me to learn, I need massive repetition. And I bet most of us are the same. All right. So there you go. Come up with a plan. Have it. Every one of these items can be scheduled in. Your family time needs to be scheduled in. Now, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing during your business time, then you feel guilty during family time, and then you feel guilty during business time. You know, it's a vicious cycle. See, look at these 5 areas as like spokes on a wheel. If they're not even, it's going to be a hell of a bumpy ride. That's the way you have to look at it. These are all spokes on your wheel. 5 big spokes on a wheel, okay? And if one is light or not tight and not as long, you know, it's a bumpy ride. So your family, you need to have a plan and a schedule for it. Physical, you need to have a plan and a schedule for it, okay? And keep track. People go, that's boring. Try it, and then let me know if you do it for 6 months or a year. I guarantee you it will not be boring. When you start progressing physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, business-wise, it is not boring. The reason you say it's boring is because we all have that drunk monkey mind, and anything new is bad. But it's really not bad, okay? Because your mind thinks, you know, it's like we have incredible software today, but we still have some old hardware from thousands of years ago that say anything is new is bad. It's not bad, okay? That's why you should read the book, The Power of Habit. It'll explain to you, like it did to me. Okay, so have a goal for family, have a goal for physical, have a goal for spirituality, have a goal for mental, and obviously have a goal for your business. And your business, out of all 4 of those, is the easiest one. Okay, when anybody tells you, I firmly believe that. All right, any questions about that? Thoughts, epiphanies, ahas, quantum leap moments? Anything? Okay, good. I feel really good about the fact that I have really explained this well. All right, folks, it's the week of Thanksgiving. You have a lot to be thankful for. I know I do too. So thank you all for being on the call today. Thank you for being in my coaching. Thank you for being with the company. All right, and just go out there and be gratitude is incredibly powerful if you choose to exercise it. As a matter of fact, every one of these affirmations we're talking about, if you are thankful for what you want in advance, it actually makes that date come even faster. You guys are the best. Have a great Thanksgiving. Woo! Go get them, folks.
Hey, Rick.